Now recording is started. I am audible now. Yes, Prachi, Pause,
Yes, sir.
Sukanya.
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Prafulla is there.
Yes, sir.
Prafulla is there. I think Prafulla joined and not listening the things. No matter. In this lecture, we are going to cover different components of embedded system, in which, please listen it very carefully, I am going to show you some images of the components which are nowadays used in embedded system, and understand the it's a fundamental behind the hardware. So be careful, listen it. Just listening is sufficient. If you have earphone, just put it into your ear. There is no need to see screen, but if you are interested to see screen, you can see the screen, okay, but listen it very carefully. 4 to 5 different hardware that we are going to see in this lecture. For next lecture there are different. First, memory, then a reset circuit, then real time clock, then timer and counter, some brief explanation that we have seen in previous lecture, and watchdog timer. How many hardwares we are going to talk in this lecture? That is, first memory, then power supply, then reset circuit, real time clock, watchdog timer. These are the 4 to 5 different hardwares. Let's see one by one. First, listen it very carefully. Why? Because nowadays there is a business around the embedded system everywhere. If you have a mobile phone, there is an embedded system. The question comes in your mind, sir, how? Yes, your mobile gives the real time clock, it signals to you. If you use a gyrometer, if you use a gyrometer or pedometer. Second example, if you have phone OnePlus or Apple X series, there is a inbuilt functions of oximeter, right? If you have phone more than price 50,000, it having a function oximeter, inbuilt function in your mobile phone. It gives your oxygen level. It shows your oxygen level, which is very much important topic nowadays because of corona pandemic. Your mobile phone gives this information. How the mobile phone gives the information? Because, as I have said, mobile phone is an embedded system, right? What hardware is embedded? A real time clock. Because we have to check our oxygen level per second, right? In per second or in per minute. If it is above 90, then it's okay. How it shows above 90? It is synchronized with your real time clock, right? So that's why it shows with the help of that real time clock by synchronizing your oxygen level. These are the two examples to understand how my mobile phone is embedded one. And the hardware like RTC, real time clock, is used in your mobile phone. Uh, let's see one by one. To understand the things, I have told to you this example. A power supply first. For real-time system, 5-volt power supply is required. A DC power supply is required. If I ask the question to you, which kind of power supply is required in embedded system? If Prafulla is there, then she can share the answer. Which kind of power supply? Whether AC or DC? If Rati is there, Rati can share, right? Simultaneously mention your attendance. Okay. Mentioning the date. Today's date is 11th of Jan. Yes. अरे बाबा सर्वांनी घाबरू नका, काही नका. मला सांगा, please tell me which type of power supply is required for embedded system or for circuits. Yes. Hello. Pause is there. Pause. Okay. No matter, please listen. It requires DC current, direct current. Wherever you will find the electronic circuit, over there DC current is required, direct current. But to rotate our arms of our fan, ceiling fan, AC power supply is required, AC, alternating current, right? Over here, DC power supply. First, in power supply, DC power supply is required. Second, most of the time, we have to use 5-volt power supply. What? 5-volt power supply is required. As the electronic circuitry is built through a very small, tiny hardwares. So that's why to operate that tiny hardwares, a 5-volt DC supply is sufficient. Second, sometimes to operate your embedded system, 3.3 volt power supply is mentioned by different companies who they built different electronic devices. Number 3, 1.8 or 1.9 DC power supply, okay, is also sufficient to run embedded system. Okay. Then next, with the help of such kind of power supply, we can use or we can run our embedded system. This is about a power supply required to embedded system. If anybody over there at that side listening the lecture, please tell me the total power supply capacity of the cell that we use in our wall mounted watch. Okay, Aditi Andre is there, Anand Khorpade is there. Okay, please tell me.
Depends.
Depends means who is speaking? Yes, Prachi. Depends means.
Sir, it depends. If the watch requires less, then it's from 1 volt to 5 volts. More,
Have you seen? Okay. Have you seen that cell?
yes, sir.
Okay. What type of voltage is mentioned? The
1 volt to
1 point.
1 volt to 5 volt for AAA cell. That is generally used these days. And the old ones
1.9 or 1.8.
1 to 5 volt.
Yes, 1 to 5. Exactly 1.8 or 1.9. The cell that we use on our wall-mounted watch, right? This is about power supply required to embedded system, which is one kind of electronic system, and everywhere for the electronic system the direct current or DC supply is required. Without that DC supply it cannot work, because over here we required very accurate execution. So that's why it requires direct supply. As the name itself, alternating current, it means the current flows with a microsecond gap, right? So that's why such kind of gap is not acceptable for accuracy. So direct current is required. This is about power supply. Second, real-time clock. A real-time clock is a computer clock usually in the form of an integrated circuit that is solely built for keeping time. If you are able to see the written material on your screen, please read it. I am not going to read it whole. But what exactly it is? A real-time clock as the name, and previously we have seen the example. It is a real-time clock. It is a one kind of hardware which is mounted, which is required wherever we have to show real-time execution. At that time, real-time clock is required. It is a one kind of a circuitry which gives the real-time signals. What kind of signals it gives? It gives signals to keep the record of, or to show the record of accurate timing. Number one, it keeps the record of seconds. It shows the accurate timing in second. Number two, it shows a real time minutes. It shows a real time hours. It does not only shows the hours, minutes and seconds. It shows and keeps the record in real time of month also. Month. It also saves the record of year also. And most important thing, it also shows the record in real time leap year also. So understand, as we have seen power supply hardware, we are now going to look into real time clock. It stores and shows a real time fashion, seconds, minutes, hours, then months, years and leap years. It shows all these things and keep the record all these things in a real time fashion, because in many of the systems we require this signal in real time to show output to the user. For example, the applications like pedometer, applications like oximeter, applications like a blood pressure checking, right? Oh, there it requires applications like weather forecasting. So over here, this real-time clock plays the important role. Now, if you are online and listening it very carefully, I am going to show you other than this theory content. Have you read this theory content? Please read it. Okay. I am going to show you one diagram. Okay. This is the diagram. This is the diagram. Can you see it, Prachi? Prachi? Prachi, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Not only Prachi, I am just taking the name. Anybody listening, please say yes, sir. It gives me a boost whether some people are listening. What I am trying to say to you, at least some people are listening. At least, okay. Please see this circuit. Over here, if you able to see the movement of mouse cursor, what is this? What is this? What is this? Arduino Mega. It's not Arduino Uno. Arduino over here you can see Arduino Mega. We are not looking towards this. This diagram is showing the connections made with real-time clock. What the diagram you can see over here, the image which you can see over here that I am showing with the help of cursor of the mouse, this is nothing but real-time clock. Real-time clock. And wherever through the Arduino, if for example I am giving this, if real-time clock is required to create any kind of application, we can connect this real-time clock to our Arduino or any system or any microcontroller. See, okay, see it. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? This is one kind of hardware required, real-time clock. I have told to you what is the use of this real-time clock. One more thing that I want to share with you, it requires DC supply again, right? It requires DC supply, and that DC supply is nothing but the input to that clock. Through that input, it generates the signals to create the records of real time showing of seconds, minutes, hours, right? Months, years and leap years. Have you seen this? Are you able to see this? Anyone? Have you seen this?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice. Then next part. This is about real time clock. Next part is what you can see over here, timer and counter. I have already told to you in previous lecture, but with the help of this difference, please understand. Timer is the one kind of hardware in which the register incremented for every machine cycle. Called as timer. Have you did the experiment in 12th physics lab or in first year physics lab with the help of vibrating fork? Have you seen that vibrating fork? If we use the apply the simple force on that fork, it vibrates near about 1 minute or near about 2 minutes, right? The same phenomena is applied with the help of quartz material. It is a one kind of material available in the nature, quartz, which is mounted in the circuit, and we provide the DC power supply. We provide DC power supply to that quartz material, and it vibrates continuously. This process going on continuously. Input supply from our external source, DC power supply, we gives to that quartz material, and it continuously vibrates like this, and this vibration is counted as a one pulse, like this, from this position to this position, right? I am going to show you from this position to this position. This is counted as one pulse, right? One pulse with the help of that quartz material, and this movement is generated as, for our understanding, 1 second. So that's why here the register incremented for every machine cycle. This kind of movement from one place to another place is counted as one machine cycle and is termed as 1 second, for example. And this phenomena is called as timer. If this is the case of the timer, then what is the difference between counter and timer? Counter is nothing but the register is incremented considering 1 to 0 transition as its corresponding to the external input pin T0 or T1. Difficult to understand this kind of theory. काय बाबा टायमर म्हणजे त्या क्वार्ट्सला आपण बाहेरून डीसीचा सप्लाय दिला आणि तो क्वार्ट्स मटेरियल एका जागेपासून दुसऱ्या जागेपर्यंत गेलं आणि ती जी डिस्प्लेसमेंट झाली ती एक मशीन सायकल आणि ती एक मशीन सायकल म्हणजेच काय 1 सेकंद, राईट. बट व्हॉट देयर इज डिफरन्स बिटवीन काउंटर मीन्स व्हॉट, इट काउंट्स द मूवमेंट ऑफ द एक्सटर्नल सिग्नल. It counts the movement from one transition to another transition. That counting of the movement from one state to another state is counter. For example, timer means आपलं घड्याळ, right? Clock. And counter means suppose if we fix the counter on the entry point, the role of counter is what? Count the number of people. Count the number of people is nothing but counter. How it counts the number of people? By observing the transition state of that people from one position to another. Have you understand, Prachi?
Yes, sir.
What you understand timer? Okay. If you are want to give the reply, then freely. If no one is interested, no matter. I tried to share the scientific fundamentals behind the timer. Just tell me one thing. Don't give me the explanation. Anyone, not only Prachi. Because Prachi speaks, that's why I take the name of Prachi from here. Anybody from your side? Which material is used in clock system? I'm using the word clock means that घड्याळ, not using the word in reference of signal. Yes.
Quartz.
Yes, quartz. Who is there? I want to know your name.
Sheetal Gadge.
Very good, Sheetal. Very good. Quartz is the material. Timer means the displacement of that quartz material from one state to another state, and this one cycle, this one mechanical machine cycle is termed as 1 second. This is the all over world phenomena followed by every industry, right? Have you heard the news about the rotating speed of Earth? It goes down point not something 1-2 milliseconds. Have you heard that news? Yes, that is yesterday's news. No one? Okay, I think you are busy with some other task. No matter. And counter is different. Have you understand difference between counter and timer? Over here, if you are able to read all these things, it is mentioned over here, right? I am not going to read all these things. My aim is to only specify what exactly the difference between timer and the counter that I have explained. The next hardware, that is reset circuit. Reset circuit. Many of the circuits, there is one push button given. Just pressing that push button, we have observed, we have experienced the circuit or machine gets reset, or it starts from its original position. Yes, absolutely. Why it is given and what exactly it is? A power on reset circuit ensures the system power supply stabilize at the correct level. At the correct level. Who is there? Gopal is there. Okay. Gopal?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Okay. From where you have joined? Pune or from Loni?
Pune, sir. Pune.
Okay, very good. We are talking and mute all the background music. Mute all the background music. I don't know from where it is coming. Reset circuit we are talking. It is one kind of hardware which is used in embedded system.
Yes.
So from where the noise is coming? Don't know. A power on reset circuit ensures the system power supply stabilizes at the correct levels. The clocks of the processor settle accurately and that the loading of the internal register is complete before the device actually starts working or gets. What exactly these lines are telling? These lines are telling when we press the reset button, it stabilizes the power supply. It stabilizes the power supply. Means what? If the fluctuations, if there in power supply, it stops that fluctuation and it resets the accurate power supply. It correct the clock of the processor settles accurately. Again, this is the second part which is mentioned in this 2-3 lines of the reset circuit. The clock processors settle accurately. The clock of the processor. Processor works, processes the system and controller controls all the system with the help of clock. Because clock is sending the signals to the processor and processor and controller working according to that clock signals. If the system or if the application is having the requirement of clock. So in such applications where the clock signals are required, over there by pressing the reset button, the clocks of the processor get resettled. This is the use of a reset circuit. And that loading of the internal registers is complete before the device actually starts working or gets. So by doing all these two things, the registers then loading of the internal register get completed. This is the use of a reset circuit. Have you understand? Two things. It checks the power supply and settles the power supply from its initial state. And second, it checks the clock signals and settle the clock signals in accurate manner. This is the use of a reset circuit. Next, memories. If you are able to see the picture of this memory system, memory is divided into primary memory and secondary memory, which you all know that. I am going to read it very fastly. Primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory again divided into RAM, ROM. RAM is divided into static RAM, dynamic RAM. ROM is divided into ROM, PROM, EPROM, double EPROM, then flash. Okay. Dynamic RAM is again divided into single data rate, SDR, durable data rate, DDR, and quad data rate, QDR. Only my question is to you all. Nowadays we are using which kind of RAM? Which kind of RAM? Most of the time that you come across, that is double data rate, DDR RAM. Okay. Let's see secondary memory. Secondary memory having 3 types: true random, pseudo random, and sequential random. Then true random is divided into flash drive, that is pen drive. Then SSD, solid state disk, and SD card. Right? SD card, SSD, flash drive. All these are the types of secondary memory. Then pseudo random, magnetic disk and hard disk, HDD, optical disk and blurry disk. These are the types of pseudo random access. This is what the general information that we know that in second year computer engineering, in computer organization, we have seen all these things. For your information that I want to tell you that DDR, which is primary memory and dynamic RAM, and SSD, always we follow this SSD, that is solid state drive, 1 TB SSD and 2 TB SSD. That is a type of secondary memory, right? This is about memory. Now I want to move towards our next topic, that is watchdog timer. That is watchdog timer. If you are able to see this diagram, this picture, I am not going to play this. I want to explain the things. Watchdog timer. Please see it very carefully. In every embedded system, wherever the clock signal is required, there is oscillator and crystal. There is oscillators and crystal. Oscillator is nothing but a circuit. Over there, we give the DC signal, direct signal, and produces the waveform. It produces the waveform as output in AC format, right? Over here, the crystal is attached. With the crystal, it gives the clock signals that I have explained to you. This clock circuitry is used in watchdog timer. What is the role of watchdog timer? As the name itself, it is watching something related to the time. It is watching something related to time and works against that time. Works against that time as a complementary to the particular function. What exactly it is? If you are able to see over here, two blocks that is drawn by this person. Over here, this block is nothing but WT, that is watchdog timer, and this block is nothing but P, that is processor, Please see over here, the one signal goes towards WT, right? Again, at bottom hand side, there is a clock signal goes on. The input to watchdog timer also, and the same to processor also, clock signal. Now understand what exactly happened. What is the role of watchdog timer? For example, this processor is sending continuously some signals to this watchdog timer. Watchdog timer observes, inspects the signals and do not perform anything. It keeps the record of all the things, because if the signals from the processor comes continuously, whatever previously defined scenario, then watchdog timer just observes and keeps the record. But whatever the sentence that I am going to tell you after this, that is the role of watchdog timer. But if because of some fault, bug, error, hardware problem, power failure, if processor fails to send the signal to the watchdog timer, as the signals doesn't come from the processor as per mentioned previously instructions, watchdog timer watches the situation and sends the signal back to the processor. And what kind of signal it sends to the processor? A reset signal. What? Reset signal or reset circuit. When it sends the reset signal to the processor, when there is a problem occurs to send the signals from processor like error, fault, bug, hardware failure, power failure. हा सेंड करतो रिसेट सर्किटचा सिग्नल आणि प्रोसेसर रिसेट होतं, पुन्हा एकदा पहिल्यापासून स्टार्ट होतं, राईट? टू अवॉइड द फेल्युअर, टू अवॉइड द क्रॅश, टू अवॉइड द डिझास्टर, to avoid the wrong output. This phenomena is followed with the help of this hardware, and this hardware is known as watchdog timer. Have you understand? Prachi, have you understand?
Yes, sir.
What you understand? At least some people are listening. That is gives me boost. I know everyone is listening. What is the role of watchdog timer?
It resets the processor.
Why it resets the processor? Okay, no matter. But do study at home also about this different hardware systems of embedded system. Okay, what we have seen up till now, that is a reset circuit, memory, power supply, then watchdog timer, timer and counter. Okay, these are the number of things that we have seen in this lecture. Have you got the points? Have you understand whatever I have shared with you? I am just going to repeat it once again within a very short period. Power supply required to embedded system. Power supply required to embedded system. 5 volt power supply, 3 volt power supply, 1.9 volt power supply, and DC power supply is required. Number 2, that is a real time clock, a circuit or a hardware which is mounted or embedded onto the big hardware software platform. If the applications require a real time clock synchronization, at the time that RTC real time clock plays the role. The role RTC plays, that is, it displays a real time second, minutes and hours, right? Even not only these things, it shows month, year and leap year also. Number 3, that is timer. Timer is nothing but it is a one kind of a machine cycle that is maintained through quartz material. The frequency of that quartz material is measured as to count the timing. Number 4, counter. Counter is nothing but change of one state to another state. Application count the people which are coming from outside to the building on the gate. Number 5, that is reset circuit. Reset circuit resets all the clock signals and settles the power supply in correct mode and start and load all the registers from initial state. This is required, this reset circuit. And the second last, that is memory. Primary and secondary memory. RAM ROM is primary memory. SDR, that's SSD, solid state drive, pen drive, CD. What is this? These are the secondary memories. The next and last, that is watchdog timer. Watchdog timer is the circuitry used to watch the signals coming from the processor. If it is correct, it observes and records the signals. If it is not correct, it sends the reset signal to the processor and resets all the activities from its origin to avoid any kind of fault and error and bug, to proceed ahead with accurate and efficient way. This is all about today's lecture of hardware components of embedded system. Tomorrow we will meet with a different topic of embedded system. You have patiently listened all these things. Keep it in next lecture also. Thank you.